Hello students, we'll move on with the next topic, that is built-in methods for arrays and lists. So this is a very important topic from an Excel exam point of view. So here we are going to see some of the built-in methods that are part of Ruby. So frequently it is necessary to place new elements on one end or the other end of the array. That is, you might want to place an element or you might want to remove an element from the either ends of the array. So Ruby has four methods for this purpose. So the shift and unshift method, which will be dealing with the left end of the array, left end in the sense the starting end, okay. Whereas push and pop will be dealing with the right end, that is the last end, okay. So we'll see each of this method. So first one we are going to see is shift. So shift method, what does it do? Shift method removes and returns the first element of the array object to which it was sent. So what is the meaning of this? We'll just see with an example here. So we invoke the interactive Ruby here. So I will have an array whose name is list, and I will initialize list with 1, 2, 3, 4. My list is having elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I'll use the shift method. So what does the shift method do is it is going to remove the first element, or in other way you can say the element which is having the lowest subscript. Okay, it is going to remove that and return that element. So we'll just see that. So I will give first is equal to name of the array. Name of the array is list dot shift. So we'll just see. So list is the name of the array. Shift is a method which is going to remove the first element from the array and return that. Okay. So you can see one is written. Now you just verify the content of the array. So you can give the name of the array, that is list. So you can see in the array I have only 2, 3, 4. So the first element is removed. Okay, and returned here. Okay. So now in this case, one more point what you have to remember here in this case is about the subscript value. So since you have removed the first element, what about the subscript value? Subscript value will be reduced by 1, or the index value, right? So here you can just see here. So 1 had an index or a subscript as list of 0, you had 1. So index was 0, whereas for this it was index of 1. But now since you have removed here list of 0, you will be having 2. So what has happened there? Index or the subscript has been reduced by 1. That is one point what you have to remember in case of shift. Next we'll go to another one method, that is pop. So shift, what does it do? It is going to remove the first element of the array and return it. Whereas in this case, next one will go for pop. So again I'll use the same array, that is list. Okay. So last is equal to list dot pop. So pop, what does it do? It is going to remove the element which is having the highest subscript value. Okay. So you can see now the highest subscript value was this one, right? So this was list of 0, list of 1, list of 2. So this value will be removed and written. Okay, so 4 is written. Just verify by giving the name of the array. So in the array I have only 2 and 3. Okay, so this is about your shift and pop. So shift is going to remove the starting element, pop is going to remove the last element. Other than this, you can go for unshift. So what is one more thing here you have to remember. In shift, what did we say? Index or the subscript value will be reduced by 1. But in case of pop, will that happen? No, because since it is removing the last element, there is no changes in the subscript value. There is no reduction, nothing like that, because even after removing 4, if you give list of 0, you have 2 only. List of 1, you have 3 only. There is no changes. Okay. Next we'll go to unshift. So what does unshift do is, unshift is going to take a parameter. Okay. That is, it takes a scalar or an array literal as a parameter and appends it to the beginning of the array. Okay, beginning of the array. So when I told in the beginning of this slide, I spoke about this command, right? So shift and unshift, we said it deals with the left end. Left end. So shift, what did it do? Shift removed the first element, left end. Whereas unshift, what it is going to do, it is going to append to the beginning, again the left side. Okay, so shift and unshift left side, push and pop right side. Okay, so now we'll see the example of shift. Again we'll take the same array list. So list is having 2 and 3. Now I'll use the command unshift. Okay, so on which array I have to apply unshift, that is the name of the array is list dot unshift, and I'll give some value. I will give some value as 1. Okay, so now just see what happens. Previously in your list you had 2 and 3. Now whatever you have given as a parameter, that will be added to the or appended to the beginning of the array. Okay, that is about your unshift. Next we'll go to push. So we said pop and push will be working with the right end or the higher subscript position value. Okay, so now we'll go to push. So previously you saw unshift, which is going to add at the beginning, right? So now we'll go to push, which is going to add the elements to the higher end. Okay, higher end of the array. So again we'll use the same array list, and I will give push followed by, I want to push the element 10. So I'll give, so you can see here previously I had 1 2 3, now 10 is added. Once again if I want to add one more element, 10 comma 50. So you can see here 1 2 3 up to 10, 1 2 3 10 was already there. Again I push 10 comma 50. So you can see here push is adding the elements to the right end of the array. Okay, so that is about your push pop. This can be used to implement a queue in an array depending on the direction in which queue should grow. Okay, so that is about your shift, unshift, push and pop. Next we'll go to catenation. Okay, that is your concatenation. Okay, concatenation is nothing but combining, adding the values of one array to the other. We'll see with an example here. So I will use a new array called as list1. I will give the values 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is my list 1. Similarly, I will use list 2. I will have 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this is my list 2. So now I will use the concatenation command, that is concate. Okay, what I want to do for list 1, I want to concate. What I want to concate? The contents of list 2. So I am giving like this, list1 dot concate list2. So content of list2 will be concatenated with list1. So what is happening here? The combined result will be stored where? In list1. Okay. So no new array will be created. New array won't be created. Where will the combined value be stored? You can check here. I will give list1. If I give list1, I have the combined value. So list1 will be having its own value, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Along with that the value of list2, that is 7, 8, 9, 10. This is about your concatenation. Okay. Similarly, next one will go for the plus method. Okay. Or the plus operator. Again, this is also going to do the task of concatenation only. But only changes in this case, a new array is created. A new array is created. In the previous one, where was the result? In list 1 only. But whereas in this case, a new array is created. Okay. So same thing we will do. List 1, I will give new value 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And list 2, I'll give 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, list 2 I have 9, 8, 7, 6. Now what I want to do, I want to combine this 2 and store the result in a new array. So I will give list 1 plus list 2. So whatever value of list 1 and list 2 is there, that will be combined. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 9, 8, 7, 6. So both of them are stored in which array? In the new array called as list 3. So in the previous case, what happened? The combined value was stored in list 1 only, right? So in list 1 only, but in this case a new array list 3 is created, which will be having the concatenated value. Okay, that is about the plus. Next we'll go to reverse. As the name says, reverse. What does reverse go? If you have 1 2 3 4, when you give name of the array dot reverse, it should reverse the value. Okay, so we will use a list, and in that list I will put the values as 2 3 4. Okay, I'll give 1 2 3 4. So in my list, what do I have? In my list I have 1 2 3 4. Now I will give list dot reverse. Okay, I will give list dot reverse. In that case, what should be my result? Instead of 1 2 3 4, I should get 4 3 2 1. Okay, so I got 4 3 2 1. So what happened here? It is reversed. But one thing, just check here. Once again, you give list and see whether you have the reversed value. When you check list, you are not having the reversed value. You have the original value. So what happened here? The change value is not affected in the array to which it was sent. So for that purpose, in the array it is still 1 2 3 4. If you want the change to be kept as it is, or if you want the change to be affected in the array to which it was sent, you can go for the next one called as the mutator version. So same example. Okay, now in list we'll check. In list, what do you have? You have 1 2 3 4. Now I will give list dot reverse. Till here we had already seen in the previous example. Along with this, I will give a exclamatory symbol. So this exclamatory symbol is nothing but mutator. When you give like this, any changes that has happened, it will affect the array to which it was sent. Now what happened? 4 3 2 1. Once again, check the content of list. Now you can see you have the change value, that is 4 3 2 1. But previous example, what happened? When you give list, you still had 1 2 3 4. Since you have given the mutator version here, okay, that exclamatory mark, what does that exclamatory mark do? Whatever changes that has happened, it will affect to the array to which it was sent. So for that purpose, changes has happened in the array. So you have 4 3 2 1. Okay. Next we'll go to the next example. Okay, that is, you want to search something, that is some specific object in your array. In that case, you can use this include followed by a question mark. That is a predicate method which is searching an array for a specific object. I will give list only. In my list, what I have? I have 4 3 2 1. Now I will give list dot include. Okay, list dot include, followed by that a question mark. Now I want to search element 3. I'll give like this. So in this case, it is returning a value true, means that element 3 is there. Okay, is there in the array. Now same thing, instead of 3, if I'm giving 33, in that case, what happened? It is returning false, saying that it is not there in the array whose name is list. Okay. Next, we'll go to the sort method. So what does the sort method do? It sorts the elements of an array. How long? Until Ruby is able to perform the comparison. Till then, it can sort. Okay. So this sort method can work with numeric as well as it can work with string. Okay. Most commonly sorted elements are either numbers or string, and Ruby can compare number to number and string to string. We'll see with an example. Again, we'll go to list. In list, I have 4 3 2 1. Okay. We'll give some other random numbers. Okay. In list, I have some 90. Then I have 23. Then I have 105. Then I have 2. I have 56. Okay, some numbers like this I have. So in my array I have this number. So I will give list dot sort. So when I give list dot sort, it is sorted in the increasing order. Okay. So this is about your sort method. So what does it do? It is going to sort the numbers in the increasing order. Similarly, you can go for string also. So I will give list only, and within the bracket I will give Joe, comma Larry, comma Fredo. I'm gonna start one comma. Okay. I will extend this. Okay. And next one we have Mike. Okay. I'll give this. Okay. So this is the data that is there in my list. Now I will give list dot sort. So you can see it is sorted in the alphabetical order. Okay. So you have Fredo as the first one, then Joe, then Larry, Mike. This is how you can use a sort command. Okay. Next one, just an example in which you have an array. Okay. You have an array which is a combination of string as well as numbers. Okay. In this case, what happens? Just see. So in my list, I have Joe, a numeric number 2, a string Fredo, and a numeric number 56. Now I will give list dot sort. Now you can see we have an error message displayed saying comparison of integer to string failed. So what we want to say here is, in case if you are having mixed type. So when we are speaking about array, we said arrays in Ruby, we said array can be either string or numeric, or it can be having combination also, floating point also. It can be mixed type. It need not be of same type. But for sorting, what should happen? It should be either numeric only, or it can be either string only. Mixed type is not allowed. Okay, that is what we want to say here. And the next point here, sometimes some cases array, we might want the array to be represented in the form of set. In such cases, we have three methods that perform set operation on any two arrays. So we'll see the different operations. All these operations are used as binary infix operator. So the different methods what we have is, first we have is intersection, wherein you are using a ampersand, or you can say bitwise and symbol. And next one you have difference, that is a minus symbol. Then you have union, which is a or symbol. Okay. So intersection, when we say, we have already learned about set theory in our mathematics, right? So intersection is nothing but which are the common elements in the two set that will be displayed. Difference, when you say whichever element is there in the first set and not there in the second set. Union, when we say all the elements of both the sets, everything will be displayed. So we'll see this with an example. So we'll create the set. I have set 1. I have the value 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. I have 2, 4, 6, 8. Set 2. I'll give some value 4, 6, 50, 65. Okay. Some value. Okay. Then set 3 will have, okay, sorry, set 1 and set 2, right? So two sets. Now we will apply this methods. So first method we'll see set 1 and ampersand symbol set 2. So what is this? This is for intersection. So when you say intersection, what does intersection do? Whichever common values are there in both the set, you have to display that. So in set 1 you had 4 and 6. In set 2 also you have 4 and 6. That is a common one. So the result is displayed here. Okay. Next one you have is, after intersection you have is difference, right? What do we mean by difference? Whichever element is there in first set and not there in second set, that is your difference. Element in first set you have 2 and 8, but it is not there in the second set. That is for difference. And the last one you have is for union. So union, what does it do? All the elements will be displayed. Okay. So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 15 and 65. Everything will be displayed. Okay. That is about your methods which are related to set operation. Next you have a program. So example program. In this program what we are doing, we are entering the names. In every line we have one name. Okay, in each line we have one a person's name. You are entering the name of the person, you are hitting enter key. Okay, like this you are entering, and finally when you hit Ctrl Z, your input is done. That is the end of the input. Okay, so whatever names you have given, that will be converted to uppercase and it will be displayed in the alphabetical order. That is your program. Okay, read the names from the user and convert it into convert it into uppercase and display in the alphabetical order. Okay, so here we are using the index which is initialized to 0, and you're creating a new array whose name is names. Okay, array dot new is nothing but it is going to create an array with names. And here what you're doing, while name is equal to gets, so gets is nothing but it is reading the names from the keyboard, that is reading the input from the keyboard, and whatever you have read that will be stored in this variable name. Okay, so first name, suppose I have given as Fred, it will be read and it will be stored in name. Like this it goes on. Okay, till when it will go on, we'll see that. So here, so suppose Fred you have entered, so that is the name what you have entered. So what you are doing, name dot chomp. So we have already spoken about this chomp. So I have entered Fred and I have hit an enter key. So that enter key will be converted to new line. So that new line should be removed. So that is done by chomp. And uppercase is nothing but convert to uppercase. Okay, it will do all this task and it will store in the array whose name is names and index. So index first value is 0. Okay, after that increment. Like this it goes on. So again it will come here. I will enter the next name. Next name I'll enter as Larry. So it will be converted to uppercase and stored in names of 1. Like this it goes on. And when I hit Ctrl Z, that time this will be terminated. While will be terminated and will come here. So here what you're doing, names. In names what I have, whatever names I have entered, that will be stored in this array. We are going to sort it in the alphabetical order, and we can see we have used here mutator version. So whatever changes has happened, that sorted, that will be stored in this array only, that is names. Okay, then puts is going to print the statement, the sorted array. And for in, so we have already spoken about this for in statement. So for in name, so how many names you have entered for everything. Okay, so for in is nothing but for each element of the array. Which array? Names. So in name, suppose first I have Fred. Okay, so that name will be stored in this variable name. So puts name, that is Fred, will be printed. Again next element, suppose I have Larry, that will be stored in name. Again puts Larry. Like this it goes on. Okay, until all the elements of the array names is done. Finally it is end. End is nothing but close of for. So the program I have already written. So we'll just come out of this. So I'll just close this command prompt. Okay, I'll open. Okay, so I have stored it. Sorry, I have stored this in this particular program in D drive. So I have to go to D drive. So I'll give cd dot dot. Then I have to go inside a folder called as Ruby, and I'll give the command Ruby name.rb. Name.rb is the name of the file. So here I have to give the name. Suppose I'll give first name as Larry. Then next name I'll give as Fred. Next name I'll give as Joe. Next I'll give as Derek. Okay, so these are the names which I have given, and I will hit an Control Z. Okay, when I give Control Z, then I'll be getting this message, the sorted. So what is happening here? So whatever names I have entered, that will be sorted in the alphabetical order. So yeah, I have D, then F, Joe, L, and everything is converted to alphabetical order. So where did we do that? Upcase, convert to alphabetical order. Then here we did the sorting. Okay. So this is a program, example program that is given to you in your textbook. Hope you have understood this. Thank you.